Hey guys, today we're with Mary DiRosario. She wrote the book, The Airstream That Ran Away with a Spoon. She stopped by and we did a little interview with her and learned a bit about her travels. And she lives on a road. She has a Airstream that she lives in and travels around all over the country. She goes up north, comes back down south in the wintertime. But we had a nice little visit and we did a nice little interview with her. So follow along and hope you enjoy the interview with Mary. Hey, we're here with, tell me your name. I always pronounce your last name wrong.
Mary DiRosario.
DiRosario. I'll get that right. I'm the worst person there is to pronounce people's names. So I'll let Mary say her own name. That way we'll get it right from the beginning.
DiRosario.
Yeah.
DiRosario. Okay. All right, and Sue's here.
Hi.
So we're going to do a little interview about, she has a book called The Airstream That Ran Away with a Spoon. How long ago did you write that?
Well, it came out in the spring of this year.
Yeah, this year, okay. And it's available on Amazon?
Yes, it's available on Kindle, paperback, and you can also read it for free if you have Kindle Unlimited. Okay. They pay me the same as if you bought
that's
it,
cool.
So it's fine.
That's awesome. Well, we'll leave a link in the video at the end there, so if you want to purchase it, you can just click on the link and get a book, you know. So what inspired you to write your book?
Well, there's, I felt like I had a particular story to tell, that I moved into the Airstream because I had poor health and had chronic fatigue and had found living in a house to be more than I could handle.
Chores, isn't it?
But there's also a lot of chores living in an RV.
I know that too.
I'm hitching, hooking up the water, everything. So I had to not only learn how to live in an RV, but how to learn to live in an RV with my limitations.
Okay, all right.
And so I wrote the book about my first year of travels that included the stories of those lessons.
Okay, so there's a space, you're more limited in space in the RV. Has that posed any problems with, your limitations in it?
It's been great because I have so little to take care of. Mm-hmm. At my house, I got to where I really was living, in my bed and my desk and my kitchen, and the rest of the house was just being left to sort of rot. And now all of that is in one space.
One spot. Because you get even a big house, just this house is a big house, just to go from this end of the house to the bathroom at the other end of the house. And if you have, some days just don't feel so great, that's a chore. Just getting
and I was in a 3-story townhouse.
Oh my gosh! And you had steps to go up.
Yes.
So that even made it harder to get by with on it. I have some. I don't know. I've never been to the doctor, so I don't know what I've got. I always thought possibly it was something like fibromyalgia or something like that, because I get so achy. You just can't hardly. Some days is worse than others, And so I can kind of know what you go through on it, because I don't know. I'm not diagnosed, but I feel the same way, on it. So you started RVing in what year?
So I just had my 2-year anniversary, so it was the last week of September in 2017.
And whereabouts in the country did you start out from?
Well, part of my illness has given me some seasonal affective type things. A lot of times people think of seasonal affective disorder as depression. Yeah. But mine really didn't come across as depression. It was more extreme lethargy. I felt kind of like I had the flu all the time, all winter. Yeah. So the first thing I did was go to Florida for the winter.
Yeah, great place.
Where was your home base before you started?
Raleigh, North Carolina.
North Carolina. I'm familiar with the seasonal affective syndrome. When I lived in Ohio, about this time of year, now I would get depressed. I would just feel down. Didn't feel like doing nothing. And because, especially in Ohio, it's so cloudy up there, and get towards, usually what time in November, it's pretty much cloudy up there all day, plus the shortened days on it. And I got studying seasonal affective syndrome, and I actually bought a little light box.
Yes.
And was set up by my computer.
When I lived in Raleigh, I had the light box. I was on 4 different medications during the winter. Wow. And now I don't need a light box because I'm in Florida, and I just take 1 extra medication through the winter. Moving below the 35th parallel has about an 86% cure rate for the various kinds of seasonal affective disorders.
What is that parallel now? Can you tell us?
That is just a little bit south of Orlando.
Okay.
So really the only places available in the United States that meet that requirement is South Florida and San Antonio.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Well, I noticed a big difference when I moved to Florida. I don't get depressed anymore. You know, I mean, in fact, I used to hate, like this time of year, I was like, oh my, it's getting closer to that horrible time of year. But right now I look forward to it. We're going to cool down and go camping.
Yeah.
So it's too hot to camp in Florida in the summertime. So a lot of the nomads will move around, get away from where they go chasing 70.
Right.
You know, and that makes a lot of sense, you know, just like let's, but we should actually start to be cooling down more than we are right now. It's like summer's hanging on. We've had 119 days of 90 plus temperatures already this year, so we're due.
Transition to Miami then?
Yeah, so I spend the winter near Miami, and so the first year, the year that's covered in the book, I went across toward Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and into California, and then I came back across what's called America's Loneliest Highway, into Colorado and Utah, Colorado, Kansas. That was my first year.
That was your first year.
So that's what's covered in the book. And then this year I went north and I spent most of the summer at the very top of New York State.
Oh, New York State.
Which was, as I looked at the temperatures in Raleigh, I was very happy to be in New York State.
It was still hot up there, but not as hot as it was like in Raleigh.
I was right on the coast of I think it's Lake Ontario.
Ontario, yeah.
And it was actually mid 70s to 80s most of the summer, so it was great.
I know last year we went to Ohio for a short visit, and everybody was saying it was so hot, and it was like 88, you know, go, this is not hot. You know? It's like you get used to Florida weather, you know, but because we stay here, we don't move out. We stay here all year round. I don't mind the heat. That doesn't bother me in the least, so. But so anyways,
you have air conditioning.
Yeah,
right.
And yeah, you live in air conditioning, and some people say, well, I don't want to be inside, but I will go outside in the summer months and stay in the shade and stuff. And up north, I had to go outside to plow snow, but the rest of the time I'd stay indoors. I wasn't going to go out, and that lasts for about 8 months of the year. Where down here we have 4 months of hot weather. And we got gorgeous weather 8 months, so I like it here. Yeah. So you've just been making your way down. What's some of your visits you've been coming back down towards Florida? I mean,
well, this year I'll have to try and remember. I'll have to come back to it if I remember the name of it.
Right.
I went to this wonderful place in Massachusetts that I had never heard of, that has a recreated with actual buildings town from before the Revolutionary War.
Oh, wow.
And the shoemaker actually makes the shoes that people in the town recreation wear, and they actually sell them to other recreation towns that don't have shoemakers.
Yeah.
So as you go around, you get to see everybody doing the actual tasks in the actual time. It was Sturbridge Village.
Sturbridge Village. Oh, I have heard of that.
It's wonderful.
Yeah. I have heard of that. You know, we have, I don't know if you've ever been up here to Pioneer Village up here in Barberville. And it's great. In fact, I did a video on that, and one of my most favorite videos I've done was up there. But it's old implements, old tools, and how they did it. They had a railroad station there, and it's a great place there. But that's just up here at Barberville, just not far up on it. But if you get a chance, you haven't been there.
Oh yeah, I haven't.
Check it out. You would love it. It's a great day. I don't know. It costs very little. What, $5 something? $8.
$7.
You know, it's
like
not
that.
very expensive.
Well, we get the senior discount.
Yeah,
Excellent.
we get the lucky people discount.
One of the wonderful things about Sturbridge Village, I went to several other sort of recreations as I was traveling in the Northeast this year, and I use a mobility scooter when I need to go a long distance. And some of them had things, you know, they call this a wheelchair ramp, and it had a 3-inch lip on the edge. You know, nobody could get over it.
Yeah.
But Sturbridge Village had the most amazing accessibility after Disney of any place I've ever been to.
You can get everywhere.
On their map, some of the buildings aren't accessible, but you can almost always see through a window, and the map details every building, whether or not it's accessible and what the accessibility is like.
Oh, really? How nice. So they had it all detailed out. Well, we can relate that. We have a couple electric scooters. In fact, just added a ramp to the back of our road trek that when we go out camping, sometimes it's like, you know, when you get older or have issues, just walking around is too much sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, Sue's always needed something because she has a bad knee and a bad ankle. But we've got a couple of these scooters. We originally bought them to go to Disney because it's like, I'm not walking all of Disney because it'd be no fun, you know? Well, they were great at Disney. I mean, we loved it. So we use it other places. So we decided, hey, I'm going to put a rack on the back of the road truck, and now we can take the scooters with us when we're out. If I want to do a trail or something, I can walk so far, but after a while, it's like, I'm not going to see it all. So now we'll get on a scooter and I just do my video on it.
Do you have a rack on your vehicle?
I don't, because I pull a trailer.
Okay.
And I did look at a front rack a little bit, but since I live full time in the trailer, it turned out that scooters and water aren't the best mix in the world. And I wouldn't be able to protect it from the weather. So I got a kind of scooter that comes apart into pieces.
That's what ours does.
And it's in the back of my SUV.
Okay.
Yeah, you take the seat off and then you pull the battery out and then it splits in two.
Yeah.
And that's way.
And it's a big project. So like after a full day at Disney, I just sort of sat by the back of my car until some nice person asked if I needed help because when I'm tired, it's a little much.
You know, when I put them together, a lot of times I was wore out just putting them together, you know, and that was another reason for the rack. We can leave them together. Now we're going to have to get a tarp or something to throw over them, keep them out of the weather, you know. I've done that, but I haven't gotten that far yet on it. So, but yeah, that's some of the stuff when you're traveling too. You got to have that stuff, you know, so you can make the trip more enjoyable, so you can get around and just for your own good, you know, to get around on. But it sounds like you're doing good with it.
Yes, yeah, the scooter, I'm looking at writing, this first book was about the Airstream, and I'm looking at writing a follow-up book about the scooter.
About a scooter, so that would be cool. Do you have a vlog or anything?
I don't.
Maybe you ought to start one.
Part of the reason I got into this is because I do have a fatigue issue, and I have a job, and so my day-to-day energy goes into the job. So I kind of decided to do the books, and, you know, if they sell, they sell, but not to do a blog or something that would really take a lot of my energy.
It takes a lot of time and energy. You know, I mean, I've had the YouTube channel for a few years now, and right now I spend sometimes upwards of 8-9 hours a day working on the YouTube channel.
I think people don't appreciate the amount of effort that goes into a YouTube channel.
I mean, there's many processes. Like, this is the first process of this video here. We're filming it, you know, and I'll go back through and then I'll just look at the whole thing and get some ideas. And then after that, I have to start editing it, you know, take the output in, edit it back. And then after you done edit, you render it. It takes forever to render the things out. Then it's ready to be uploaded. Then there's a whole process of uploading it. So it's quite a little process till it actually becomes on the screen and becomes a YouTube video. So I understand that with you working, it's just like, it's probably too much.
Right, yes.
It's probably too much on it. So you're able to work right out of your camper? Or you work mobile?
Yeah, I've been home-based for almost 20 years, and my industry is really project-based, and people change projects a lot. So it probably led the way in terms of home-based workers to start with. So even when I was a full-time employee, I was home-based. And now I'm a contractor.
That's awesome. And it gives you a chance. A lot of times I'll watch a lot of people living in their campers, and that's like, well, they're younger people. And they're like, what do you do for income? How do you make an income when you're out on the road? Because it still takes money to live, you know, on it.
And some of those people, you know, are able to pick up work camping jobs, the beet harvest, Amazon, maybe working at an RV park for a little while. But with my illness, none of those are really available to me. So I need to find work
you need somewhere you can sit down, make it computer based, where you can sit in front of a computer, do your work, and that, because physical jobs are just, I mean, that's, the older you get, the worse that gets.
I've seen several of the people on our YouTube channels that live in full time that say they work from they're mobile workers, remote workers, whatever, for different jobs. So that's interesting.
So that's good, you know, and that's usually a lot of my questions on, like, well, how do you do this lifestyle? How do you make a living? How do you, now as you get older people a lot of times have retirements and pensions, and you ever just out on the road, but you see a lot of younger people.
I think I'm no huge fan of Tim Ferriss, but Tim Ferriss's book, The 4-Hour Work Week, talks about ways to develop freedom, starting with being home-based, whatever your job is. Because once you make that leap, then you have, whether it's living in an RV or living internationally or homeschooling, there's so many options that become available to you once
home.
you're able to move your employment to being home-based.
See, actually, I worked at home. I was an upholsterer for like over 30 years, but most of my work I did in my shop right at my house. I did it right here. When I was in Ohio, I had a shop up there, but I wasn't 100% home based. I had to go out and pick up furniture. At the end, I was doing a lot of boat work. I had to go out and do some work on boats and that. So I wasn't 100% at home. But most of the time, I just get up, go out here to the shop, and do my day, and I was done. And it's nice. That gave me flexibility of hours. I'm a morning person. I still get up 4 o'clock in the morning, but I'd be out there by 5 o'clock, 12, 1 o'clock. My day's done,
Right, or just for everyday things. If you start working at 5 o'clock, you can get your hours in, go to a doctor's appointment without it being a huge problem.
Life events that you have to take care of, go to the grocery store and do this type of thing. So really gives, now, I imagine some people that work at home, their hours, maybe they have to be online at certain hours of the day, so then that would tend to govern that. But it's just a great way to be able to go out, travel, and do it. Do you ever see yourself ever not doing it, being out on the road?
When I first went home-based, there were some negatives to that. The lack of seeing people, which actually one of the solutions to that was to move into an RV, because I live in RV parks. I walk out my front door, I see people all the time. Yeah. It's much better than living in suburbia.
Right.
But whenever I saw those problems, I just kept thinking, the solution to these problems can't possibly be to go work in an office, right? And so there are some difficulties with living in an RV, but I don't know how the solution to that can be to go live in an apartment.
Yeah.
Yes, but who knows? Who knows what will happen in the future?
Well, now traveling and you're going to have breakdowns. Have you encountered any problems?
Actually, today is the 1-year anniversary of my worst event. I was driving down I-95 near Savannah, and the temperature alarm on my TPMS went off, and so I pulled over.
I just installed one in the road track.
I think having a TPMS is such an important safety feature, especially in a trailer, because you can't necessarily feel what's going on or see what's going on right away the way you might feel in your vehicle.
It's back there. And
so the temperature alarm went off. I pulled over. The tire was smoking a little bit. It turned out I'd had a catastrophic bearing failure. My bearings had been serviced appropriately, but this is still something that happens every once in a while. And the wheel was not attached to the trailer. The trailer was balanced on the wheel.
Oh my gosh.
And because of the TPMS temperature alarm, I had stopped before. I mean, that could have been a fatal accident.
It could have been. It could have been.
So,
and that's one of the biggest tires. We had a blowout in our road track. We were just going to Daytona back, which is 15 miles. A tire, I felt a little vibration.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I heard a wham. Well, it blew a back tire out, and the damage it did. I mean, the fender well, it just peeled it open like a sardine can. But the worst part is in the process, it knocked the propane line off. And so we get out, and it's like, here's this whoosh, propane hissing out. And next thing I know, it's like, oh man, we're going to explode here. Well, really, she got out, and I said, get away from the van, But just the damage it did. Now, maybe a tire pressure monitor would have helped me recognize that and stop before it actually blew apart. So I think that is a very important. And I said it's funny. Yesterday I was putting it in. I'm still adjusting it, but I put one in yesterday. So it's if you don't have one, get one.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you had service come then to help you?
So I have a roadside assistance plan. Actually, since my trailer is relatively new, I have 3 roadside assistance plans because one comes with everything. Yeah. So one of them came and took me to a service yard that had an electricity hookup, 30 amp. So I got power. They put my trailer on blocks, and I stayed there for a week while they had to ship my axle away to be remachined and shipped back.
Wow, that's things happen. I mean, I see it all the time in people's videos that living on the road, you have breakdowns, and I've seen people have motors go out, transmissions go out, so that's part of living on the road, And having more than one roadside service is really a good idea. Sue, in her car, had one service, and it was going to take hours to get to it.
They couldn't exactly.
She had a flat tire.
Coming down 95.
They didn't know where she was at.
Yeah,
right.
You know? Was I in South Carolina or was I in Georgia? I'm going, I really don't know because I can't see any signs where I'm at. So.
And that's probably another good thing. Mm-hmm. Always keep in mind whereabouts you at. So
and
you
it's a lot easier these days with your phone.
Yeah.
My phone was dying.
Yeah, her phone. She was having a phone issue.
Something was happening with it. Kept cutting out. I'd be talking and boom. So I had quite an issue. So
I had to wait for 2 hours for the truck to come. Yeah. Partly because even though I knew where I was, they actually told them the wrong location.
Oh.
But I had my whole house with me. Yeah. And so I actually unstrapped the chair at my desk and I got some work done while I was waiting.
Right, that's what you can do. That's the advantage of traveling with your own home.
Yes.
Because you have your own bed, your own bathroom, you have everything you need right there, so you can set up house right alongside the interstate. Well, that's pretty cool on it. So you're thinking about maybe another book?
Yes, I'd really like to write a book about the mobility scooter. I think anybody who has tried to exist in public on wheels quickly learns how difficult it is and how many absurd barriers get in your way. Handicap ramps that are used for storage. And like I said, the ones that at these historic places I went that claimed to be ramps but had a lip that my scooter couldn't get over. So I'm working on how to write a book that won't be so angry that nobody wants to read it.
Do you get when you're out somewhere the people that walk in front of you?
Yes.
It's amazing how many people here you're on your scooter and they walk right in front of you.
Have no concern for their own ankles, and I haven't hit anybody yet, but it's not
a wonder because they just I was amazed at that. It's like, why do you just walk in front of me?
Or lean. People will lean on your scooter.
Yeah, come up and it's like, hi bud, good to know you, but I don't know you.
I was at an event where I was, and so they had the wheelchair area was sort of at the back of the stadium, and the photographers were behind me, and they're just leaning over me, leaning on me.
Yeah, right. No personal space at all.
Personal space is a huge issue.
So maybe the scooter needs to have a barrier thing put around it that you can't get in this spot.
Well, it's interesting with the currently there's a lot of people running for president.
Yeah.
And I am in interaction with a lot of disability activists who go to these events.
Right.
And then there's the photographers.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that the disability activists had to train the campaigns on was that they did need to put a barrier behind the wheelchair area. There were people there's one photo that went around the internet of a lady that had a I can't think of the word for a respirator. So, if it got disconnected, she was going to die.
Yeah, it's like
a photographer just totally tangled up in a respirator, leaning over her, taking a picture, and that they needed to put in a barrier to protect the people that were attending.
There's a lot of things that unless you're experienced yourself, you don't see what the other people see. And I'm sure you get angry because it's like, why you people don't you think about what you're doing?
And I had no. Like many people, until I was using a scooter, I had no awareness of these things.
Yeah.
And one thing I see a lot at RV parks is speed bumps that go all the way across the road, but there's no sidewalk. The road is the sidewalk.
Right, and you try to get your
a lot of wheelchairs and scooters can't go over those tall speed bumps. They're supposed to have, and you'll see this a lot at RV parks, there'll be a break in the speed bump right in the middle.
So you can...
for wheelchairs to get through.
And, there's a lot of things. Watch, you think it's just easy running a scooter around. If you're on a sidewalk and you drop one wheel off the side, you can flip the thing over, So it's not just a go, thing on. I know I worry about her because it's hard for her to get up if she flips down,
if I fall down or something. Yeah. Even when I'm not in the scooter or anything, I'll go to get up on a curb. I always look for the handicap entrance to the curb because it's lower. And some curbs sometimes are pretty high.
Yes.
And I don't need someone to pull me up. I just need something to hang on to. So I'll look for a pole or a post or something
just to grab a hold of and
touch to kind of, because like I said, a bad ankle on one side and a bad knee on the other. Both legs are not very good, so I just need stability. So one of these days, if I'm out walking, I'm going to have to start probably using a cane or something just to have something to hang on to, a walking stick or something. So
Well, with bad knees, bad ankles, that's just, you got to deal with what you have.
Something's bad,
Yeah.
I don't let it stop me.
Yeah.
It just slows me down.
Right.
So, and I'm sure it hasn't stopped you from, the places you've traveled and everything. Things might have slowed you down, or it made you change the way you do things. But you still go and do things, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
To see,
keep
I
on
followed
going.
in your book. I read the places you've been to in your book. I follow your posts on Facebook. Some of the things you've done. That's where I knew it was Sturbridge you were talking about, and your amazing trip up north and stuff, and all the paintings you've been done. So that's another thing you could talk about is your beautiful paintings.
Yeah. She bought us a couple. I don't know what you did with them.
They're in the other room.
Okay,
This summer I got obsessed with painting, and I paint a large quantity of paintings right now, but I only live in a 100-square-foot house.
Yeah, how much room is
So
it?
every couple of months I have to sort of give away all
Yeah, it's like I need
paintings.
to. I got a 3D printer. If you see behind
Oh,
me,
yes.
I made all these little cartoon figures, and so when you're retired and you look for things that don't take a lot of energy. And little things that you just like painting, you can take minimal energy to do that. Now, you use watercolor?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you start with a photograph? Is that how you get your images, or do you?
It depends. So it depends on how much time and energy I want to put into it. During the week, I do have a job, and so during the week I tend to do really quick little paintings, more from my imagination, that are more just playing with my colors.
Yeah.
And then in the weekend, I'm more likely to do maybe one picture that is more from a photograph.
Okay.
I may. I have a really large computer screen for work.
I got a big one. Maybe yours.
Yeah, it's
bigger.
about the same.
That's like a 29 inch.
And so sometimes I'll trace the photo and then transfer it onto the watercolor paper, so then I can sort of color it in.
Yeah, I wondered how I've kind of watched the paintings you've shown, and I can see a little bit about how that might be a sketch underneath it or something.
Yeah.
I thought. So that's why I wondered, because I'm not artistic at all. If you can't buy it, you don't get it.
I love painting. I don't entirely love drawing. I find it kind of tedious.
Yeah.
So the tracing gets the drawing part out of the way, and then I can enjoy the painting.
Do you have any painting classes or training, or how did you come to start painting?
Just like RVing, there are so many videos on the internet now.
YouTube, you can find anything.
Yes, and there's a few paid, I can't think of the names of them right now, but there's a couple paid, lessons websites.
That you can take,
And, but then there's, again, so much on the internet.
You can learn anything off of YouTube.
Yeah.
It's such a great
I had
format,
been so obsessed with RVing YouTube before I moved into my RV that, for example, I have a weight distribution hitch. It's got a lot of different pieces. It's very complicated.
Yeah.
The day I picked up my RV, I needed to learn everything that day because I was driving away.
Yeah.
But I had seen that hitch so many times on YouTube that it was easy to learn. I already knew what it did.
That's a great thing. I do a lot of product reviews and stuff, and lately I've been doing more because we're getting ready. We haven't used the road trip about all winter because it's just too hot to camp here. But now, I always call winter, summer, winter in Florida. But all summer because it's been hot. But we're getting ready to go out. So I've been doing things and making a few videos. So they're helpful to people. If you can help somebody else out a little bit, it's like I've had people thank me, go, "Oh man, I just what I needed. I didn't know how to do that."
You do Instant Pot cooking videos.
I do a lot of Instant Pot cookies. We just got an air fryer, and I've had 2 air fryers. The first one didn't work so good. Well, this next one's amazing. It's working great. So I'm going to be doing more videos on those.
Do you have an Instant Pot?
I do. My trailer's so small I don't have an oven.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of things that you can cook in an Instant Pot that if you had an oven, I would recommend cooking in an oven.
Yeah.
But if you don't, those Pillsbury cinnamon rolls that pop out of the can, you can cook those in an Instant Pot. They're not going to rise the same way or anything, but you can cook them.
You can get that thing. What's that? That's that lid called you can put on your Instant Pot.
Is it a foodie lid? Is it a foodie?
No, it's not the name of it. But there's also one called what Rick uses.
Well, see, there's the Ninja Foodie.
Ninja Foodie.
But there is a lid.
There's a lid you can buy that puts on your Instant Pot, and it heats up. and
Okay.
it's like you're say you're
Browned.
doing a casserole.
Oh, okay.
You can brown it. Now I haven't gotten one yet, but it's like, you know,
I haven't
it's
even
probably
seen that.
yeah. My friend Cooking with Rick, I follow him a lot. You know, he's a good friend of mine, and he gets into these gadgets. I go, Rick got one of these. It's like it's pretty cool. I've checked it out. I just haven't purchased one
That's
yet.
brilliant.
So we'll probably end up getting one, but yeah, it's just a different lid you put on.
Yeah, and it
your
just
Instant
gets
Pot.
real hot on top. You know.
It's
The other
like a broiler type thing.
great thing about the Instant Pot is I am in 100 square feet, and so for example, if I use my stove, it can really heat
Get it
up
hot
my
in
trailer.
there, yes.
And the Instant Pot, you can cook your food without
Getting the
heating
heat
up
up.
your trailer.
Yeah,
Well, it's
it
so
does.
fast, too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's quick. Yeah, we love all those gadgets. I use them all the time, so on. So,
Yeah.
well, I appreciate you coming by and
Yeah.
and
Thanks
give a
for
little
having me.
interview. We met up I think it
Yes.
was last November. What was it? Technomadia.
Yes.
Had a meetup over in Sanford.
It was
and-
April. It was April.
Was it last April?
Okay.
Was it
past
last
year,
April?
yeah.
Okay. And so also RV Love was there, and
Yeah.
we had a fun time. Mary happened to be at the there, and we got a chatting with each other there, and she was telling Sue about her book and that, and sent her a copy of it. She actually got it shared out with a
I
friend
passed
right
it
now,
on
so
to a friend who
pass
has
it on.
Excellent.
So, you know, because once you read it, it's like you can read it again, but you know, like let someone else take advantage of it. But yeah, Mary came by today. We thought we'd just sit down, talk a little about our book. I guess there might be a new book in the makings coming up. A little bit what you've been doing and how you've been living on the road and traveling, how you get around with some disabilities. So appreciate you coming by.
Thank
on.
you.
So, hey, guys, if you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up. And if you have any comments, questions, leave it in the section below. We'll get back with you. If you have any comments for Mary, I'll pass it on to her. If you're not a subscriber, I invite you to hit the subscribe button. Hit the little bell at the top there if you want to be notified of our next videos. So, appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you guys the next time. We'll just wait. If you'd like to support our channel, we have links down below that you can click on. We're an Amazon affiliate. We have stickers available. We have a t-shirt store where you can buy t-shirts and coffee chat mugs. Or if you just want to support us, you can support us through the PayPal link. So we appreciate all your help. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.